Brandon, thank you so much. Well, right now, the nation's capital, it is quiet. But of course, that will change soon. This is hours before President Trump's impeachment trial begins.
And today, the Senate expected to adopt parameters for this trial proposed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, including setting a 2-day timeline for this trial. Last month, the House impeached President Trump on 2 charges, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. On the eve of that trial, the president's legal team laid out their detailed defense.
Abuse of power is not the criteria for impeachment, any more than dishonesty would be a criteria for impeachment.
We have to ask ourselves, who is the president going to shake down next?
And while lawmakers are facing off today discussing impeachment in D.C., President Trump will be in Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. We'll continue to keep you updated on all these developing stories throughout the day on air and, as always, on the 48 News app. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. Breaking overnight, law enforcement in Virginia right now mourning the loss of a sister in blue.
Yeah, I hate to hear these stories. This deadly incident happening in Newport News. According to the statement from the Newport News Police Department, the incident started as a traffic stop. The driver tried to drive off, unfortunately dragging that officer. The officer died at the hospital from her injuries. Police did arrest that driver who crashed a short time after this whole incident.
Also this morning, we're learning more about a man charged in the case of a missing Shelby County teenager found in Huntsville on Thursday.
Yeah, the Madison County Sheriff's Office confirmed 24-year-old Rodrigo Ortega. This man is behind bars right now, facing a number of charges. Officials tell us that Ortega pretended to be a much younger man to gain the girl's trust. He is charged with interference with custody, a felony out of Pelham. But here in Madison County, he is charged with enticing a child and second-degree rape.
Now, the search went from city to city for days after police say the teen was seen on camera getting into an SUV. We showed you that yesterday here on this broadcast. Now, yesterday she was found with Ortega in a home on Jocelyn Street in Huntsville. Our team was able to speak with neighbors who saw everything unfold.
I have not seen her before today. She has not come out of the house at all. Okay. But just a few minutes ago, it looked like social services brought her out.
Now, Madison County Sheriff Kevin Turner said on social media, quote, "Parents, this is a warning to every one of us. We encourage parents to be mindful of what your kids are doing online and who they're talking to. These threats are real and they do exist." And both that teen and Ortega will soon head back to Shelby County.
And the 48 News team also uncovered something very interesting when it comes to Rodrigo Ortega.
Yeah, right now, the Madison County Jail website, under the holds section, it says ICE detainer. That is referring to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And according to the ICE website, detainers are placed on aliens arrested on criminal charges. Now, the agency only issues this if they believe a person is removable from the U.S., and we are following up to get more information on this today.
Right now, some breaking news to share with you. Just into our newsroom, Huntsville police are looking into a deadly crash that happened yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m. According to a police report we just received, a driver who was heading south on Jordan Lane swerved to avoid a collision. When the driver swerved, the car hit the bumper of another car entering the road from Commercial Drive.
Yeah, the first driver ended up crossing into northbound traffic, leading to that head-on collision with an SUV. The driver of the first car died at Huntsville Hospital. Police say the other drivers involved were not injured.
This is not a random incident. There were multiple people involved.
Well, breaking overnight, police in Seattle, Washington are looking for the suspects in a deadly downtown shooting.
Yeah, you can see the scene right here. Heavy police presence, firefighters as well. One person is dead and 7 others, including a 9-year-old, were hurt. The city's police chief is Carmen Best, and she believes the shooting stemmed from a fight outside of a fast food restaurant. More lives could have been lost, though, she says, if people like a former nurse, Alex Bennett, weren't able to jump into action instead of running away.
I was just helping him keep calm. It took probably 15 or 20 minutes before fire people came to get him, and I think he's on the way to the hospital now.
Now, the shooting was the third in the city since Tuesday. Police do not believe, though, that any of these shootings are connected.
Happening right now back here in Alabama, Aaliyah continues to investigate a deputy-involved shooting in Walker County last night. Here's a map of where this happened. We can tell you details are limited so far, but we can tell you this involved a Walker County Sheriff's deputy. We're in contact with our sister station in Birmingham, so we can bring you the very latest on this shooting on air and, of course, on the 48 News app.
And thank you. A dangerous situation created by that heavy rain and flooding Brandon was just talking about. Some of you ask us why we say turn around, don't drown when it rains this hard and floods.
Well, here's Here is why. Take a look here behind me. Look at this, just this photo right here, and you see the substantial flooding there, and that car almost completely submerged. That's an eyewitness video that we just got from Ardmore. So again, look closely at the video. You can see the driver of the car trying to get through this flooded roadway, obviously not going well. Viewers who sent our newsroom this video say emergency crews warn people to stay away from this bridge. Thankfully, the driver's okay, but that's not always the case. So remember, if you can't estimate the depth of the water, turn around. It's not worth it. We don't want you to drown.
Absolutely. All right, new this morning out of Lawrence County, Tennessee. You are getting a look at brand new photos from Lawrenceburg. Just take a moment to take a look at the damage. Large trees brought to the ground by yesterday's storm.
And Lawrence County EMA Director Joe Baxter says no one was hurt. In a statement he sent to us, he says many homes, though, were damaged. The counting continues in Iowa, nearly 48 hours after the first vote was cast in the state's 2020 presidential caucus. Only 71% so far of the votes are counted, and officials right now are blaming that delay on a coding error. They say in a new app that was being used to count the votes. Right now, you're getting to look at the current leaderboard, and many are shocked at how the top four has shaken out so far. Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg sits slightly ahead of Senator Bernie Sanders. Buttigieg from South Bend, Indiana, while former Vice President Joe Biden is sitting in fourth place so far. Of course, it's not over yet. Right. All right, in covering Capitol Hill, the State of the Union is all over your news feed this morning. Yeah, everyone talking about the president's speech and also the Speaker of the House's shocking reaction. The theme of President Trump's third State of the Union address, the great American comeback, touting the country's strong economy right now, but he didn't stop there. In 2020, he's pushing for improvements in a number of areas, immigration and in healthcare. One of the president's goals was literally out of this world.
I am asking Congress to fully fund the Artemis program to ensure that the next man and the first woman on the moon will be American astronauts, using this as a launching pad to ensure that America is the first nation to plant its flag on Mars.
Exciting stuff. But right now, many of you are talking about the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. As the speech ended, you can see her here ripping up her copy right behind the president. She later said it was because it was, quote, a manifesto of mistruths. And following President Trump's speech, our team did receive statements from several state lawmakers about the State of the Union, including Congressman Robert Aderholt. In a statement, he said he was happy to see President Trump touch on three areas: growing the economy, rebuilding America's strength at home and abroad, and protecting the most vulnerable among us. Happening this afternoon on Capitol Hill, senators are expected to cast their votes on whether to convict or acquit President Trump. This follows more than a week of impeachment hearings. Several Republican senators that Democrats were hoping to vote with them have now decided that they will vote to acquit the president. The vote is scheduled to happen around 3 p.m. today, and we will provide you continued coverage on today's vote.